of me is down. You enchant me, even when you're not around. If there are boundaries, I will try to knock them down. I'm latching on them, now I know what I have found.
How do you kind of tie it down? So let's say we get the application in, and then how are you kind of making them feel like, oh, I'm your agent for life now?
Yeah. So I go, okay, Michaela. So on that sheet next to, congratulations, looks like you've been approved. Okay. So on that sheet of paper, I'm going to give you my direct line. Okay. So and I give my phone number. Then I say, now, it doesn't matter day or night. If you have any questions, give me a call. Okay. I'll tell them the company of that they're going to get. Your company is, America. Okay. This is how much it is. I say all that before. And then I close it out by just saying, here's my direct line. Day or night, you need anything, I'm your person. Okay. Give me a call if you want to add coverage, or, if this is too tight and you will need to lower it, give me a call as well. Okay. And I'll take care of that for you. Because then when you give them permission to call you to lower their premium, what are they going to do? They're going to call you if they need to lower it.
Right.
If you don't say that, what are they going to do? They're going to call the
company
because they're embarrassed to lower their program.
Right. Right.
So, and I'll say sometimes, like before I submit an application, I'll say, okay, now, I take my job very seriously. Now, I just want to make sure, life insurance isn't something that you just put in place for like a couple months. This is something that you need to maintain.
Yes.
Now, is this price, is this maintainable for you? Because if it's not, let's just lower it right now to make it, comfortable for you. And then they'll be like, actually, yeah, I can, or no, I need to. Okay, perfect. I'll submit the application.
I gotcha. Yeah. I was going to ask, cause you asked me if I saved money. What was your, why did you ask that question?
So I don't really ask like after, your income, how much I want to know if you're putting any money in, if you have any money left over after all of your bills. Right. So then I can use that to my advantage. If at the very end you say you can't afford it or things are tight, then I'll know, well, you're spending at least $100 a month putting it in savings. Mm-hmm. So I added that into my option. What most people do that are smart, that are already saving money, this is what they do. They allocate their money into an insurance program that's going to pay out and earn a higher interest rate.
And that's why you mentioned the cash value.
Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of just, instead of point blank asking them, if they have any money left over, and I use that to kind of gauge where I'm going to quote them. With whole life, I always quote 30, like the highest, right? But if I'm doing like a term, and I'm like kind of iffy, of like, where do I go? You're not going to quote like a 50-year-old, a $400, $500 a month policy, if they're like on Social Security, So I use that to kind of gauge the price range of what. Sometimes I just straight up ask people, like, how much do you want to spend a month on your life insurance?
Yeah. Just like the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I found that I always I break down the budget with them because I'm like, oh, this is your monthly income, and I write it all out. But like on the phone, it's been hard for me to get the budget breakdown. And so that's why I was asking that. So you ask if you're saving, so you know that you have some money to work with.
Yeah. People don't, if you're over the phone with somebody, and number one, sometimes, you're already kind of fighting them to fill this out. If somebody started asking me how much I make a month and what's left over, I'd be like, that's really none of your bit. Like I'd hang up on you, know? So, but if somebody asked me like, hey, Eric, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get you approved, but are you at least able to put any money away in savings in case of an emergency?
Yeah, that was really good.
You at least have $60 to spend, $60 to $80 to spend on a policy.
It's a very like non-threatening way to get it out of them. And then, so if I were to say, no, I'm not saving, how would you
I would just say, oh, so you're living like paycheck to paycheck, and they're like, yeah, you can still save $10 a week.
Right.
Into a policy, and so then I'll push it harder on the lower program. Now, Michaela, this is for people, that are living paycheck to paycheck on a tight budget. This is $40, $50 a month. Hey, everybody can find $10, $15 a week, right?
Yeah.
put towards their
Breaking it
life.
down to smaller numbers, $1 a day.
Yep. Because then they're like psychologically thinking like, that's really only $10 a day. Shoot, maybe I live paycheck. When I was broke living paycheck to paycheck, I still went to Starbucks.
Right. Right. There's still,
Like,
you can still find money that they're spending. Yeah.
I still got my nails done. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, shoot, you can, you know, it's your priorities. And so if you're not making this a priority for them, and then another objection, if they're like, no, I don't want to deal with it. It's like, okay, Michaela, listen. So I want you to write down $30,000 on that sheet of paper. And then I want you next year, I want you to write down $50 a month. Okay. Now, one of these are inevitable. Okay. 30, you can either have your son pay the $30,000 for your funeral. Okay. That you don't have a choice. You're going to die. Okay. That's not optional. Now, $50 a month for your life insurance policy, that is optional. Okay. But do you either want to pay the cost of not having any life insurance and put that burden on your son, or do you want to pay the price for $50 a month to make sure that this is taken care of?
Love that. Like you have a choice to either leave them with a $30,000 debt or $50 a month. That's your choice. So is that what you're saying? Like, because I think you guys went over that with Mel, the think about it. Like, let's say we went through the quotes and we were getting to it. I just really want to think about it. I just really need to think about it.
I don't typically use that on the think about it. I'll use that on the, like, I can't afford it. If they're like, I can't afford it, I want to think about it, I'll use that. I'll really just lean in towards like, listen, there's really nothing to think about right now. Like we don't even know if you're approved, right? So which amount is comfortable for you? You know, and then if they're like, well, I just need to talk it over with my spouse, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'd say, listen, you know, I've had this happen, you know, I sure hope it doesn't happen to you, but I've had clients, you know, give me that objection, give me that answer, and they like pass away that day. You know, like, do you think that, let me ask you, do you think your husband's going to be happy or upset if you died on your way home from work tonight and you have a $30,000 life insurance policy in place? And then they're like, well, he'd probably be fine. Right. Okay, so which option do you want to leave behind to him?
I love it.
And then I'll tell him, so now at least you have something to like go talk to your husband about too. You know, and if you guys decide you want to raise it or lower it, we can do that. But let's at least see if you're approved for coverage.